Hello, friends. So there's something about Mikel Obi that has surprised me in recent times. He has come across as someone who talks his mind a lot, and most of his takes are very controversial. But when the guy was playing football, he was never known to be of such nature, and that's the surprising part. Mikel Obi has once again dropped another bombshell, and we're going to look into details of that. Also, Thomas Partey has spoken about his injury, his life at Arsenal, and the competition at Arsenal too as well. So without wasting much time, let's get straight into this news. So let's start with Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey, after their preseason game against English Premier League side Bournemouth, remember I brought you an update on that as well, where Semenyo scored a goal. So Thomas, after that, granted an interview. He spoke about a couple of things. The first one he mentioned was about himself and the injury he has been through after joining Arsenal. He said that, yeah, he has, and the interesting thing about Partey was that before joining Arsenal, he was very active for Atletico Madrid. Never got an injury, like basically one of the box DMs you can get in the La Liga, excelling, came to Arsenal and injuries left, right, center. He talked about it. He said, yeah, it's life. Sometimes you have to go through then things. He talked about also the competition in the midfield. And he said Arsenal has a lot of quality players. Yes, and they all have to compete among themselves and play to the maximum best.
Now, how are you feeling personally, Thomas? Because you came back strongly from your injury problems last season. You had a strong finish to the season. How are you now looking ahead to the new season?
Well, I'm doing all my best, to stay more consistent and fit. And I think it's everyday job, and I don't need to give up. I have to keep going because it's the only option I have.
What do you put the injuries down to? Because before you signed for Arsenal, you never had an injury in your career before. It's been quite difficult for you, hasn't it, since coming here?
Well, I think it's life, things happen. Sometimes you cannot control. So, I have to, as I said, keep going, keep fighting. Every time I fall, I have to come back. And I think that's the mentality I have. And also, anytime I can help the team, I do all my best to.
You sound almost like you've got a point to prove to show that you can be that main man in midfield alongside Declan Rice.
Well, we have a lot of players in that position. Georgie is playing good, I'm playing good, Dek is there, Martin. And I think we also have other players that can come in and show the difference. And I think we have to compete against each other. And at the end of the day, it's the mister that decide. And we have to, with this competition, the teams can, get to the higher level that we want to be.
And how important is that competition, Thomas, to actually get your foot over the line this time, to get past City, to have that competition for places where everyone's fighting for a spot?
Yeah, I think this will help the team. When there is more competition in the team, the level of the team gets higher, and we have to maintain the intensity, that level, and also the competition between us will help the team to get more higher.
You came so close last year, near perfect season. How hard was that to get out of your system that you came so close, or is it kind of forgotten about already?
Well, we still have it in us. We know it hurts a lot when you are not able to, get the results that we need at the end of the season. And now we are going to a new season. We have to be fresh. We have to, make sure we don't do the same mistake we did last year and focus on each game every day. And our mentality have to be a winning mentality every time.
Thomas, what have you made of the partnership with Declan Rice? How vital could that be this season? You and Rice in the middle.
Come again?
You and Declan Rice in the middle. What's that partnership like, and how vital could that be this season?
Well, I think we have a lot of players in the middle. As I said, we are competing, and everybody is playing well. Georgie is playing well, Dek is playing well, Martin is there. And I think it's about competition. We have to compete ourselves and try to, get the best out of each other, and also to make sure the level of the team gets higher.
But you worked quite well last year playing together. Is it a connection?
Well, I think it's all comes to the team mentality, because we train together, and they played a lot of games. Georgie and Dek play a lot of games, and I think we had a lot of good results, and we were able to to be at the top. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who play. I think the most important is that the team achieve the objective, and we are happy.
You talked about objectives there, Thomas. I mean, you come close the last two seasons, closer last season. Does that increase the confidence that you know you can get over the line and effectively win the title this the coming season, does that give you more confidence that the closer you get to that title?
Yeah, I think the confidence is always there. We are there, to compete with the best. We know we need to get the best out of us to be able to compete. And as I said, we have to compete against each other. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to compete against the best.
Right. So that's Thomas Partey for you. I think he said a couple of things. Very long interview. But basically, you would understand what he's trying to say. And I think he's right. Because the most important thing is he remaining fit, playing for the team, and hoping that the coach would give him the chance to play. Right, let's talk about Mikel Obi as well. You see, there's this thing about African players or players that play in Europe that have African descent, like players that are eligible to play for Africa in other countries. Most of them see Africa as the second option, where if they are ready to play for England, either England comes to them, and then or later they will come and play for the other country. So, example, there are a couple of players, I don't want to mention names, but most of the players that come to Ghana to come and play for Ghana don't come because they want to come and play as the first option. They come to the Black Stars or come to the African countries because the first option didn't select them. And Mikel Obi has been very hot on it. He said that for him, there's nothing wrong wanting to play for England or Germany or France where you were born. But if you make a decision to play for them, stick to it. Don't come calling the African Federation when you get to your 28, 27, 29 years old and you are getting old. You see, for him, he says, if you want to play for Africa, come when you are young and you are ready to play. If you want to play for Europe, any of the European teams where you were born, stick to it. Whether they don't call you or they call you, stick to it. Don't be changing your mouth last minute and come. And I think a lot of people agrees with him that when you make a decision, stick to it because Africa cannot be the second option for you.
I've talked so much about players not representing their African root.
Yeah.
We've held meetings with these kids, with their parents, and said, listen, you are from Nigeria. Your dad is Nigerian. Your mom is Nigerian. Why don't you represent your fatherland, Nigeria? We want to play for England, France, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they wait.
Yes.
And then they keep waiting and keep waiting.
Yeah.
And when they get to 25, 26, and they don't get a call up from England, then they call Nigeria. We shouldn't be treated as second options. We are not second options. You should be proud of your African roots. You should be proud to represent your African country. I want the best players to play in Africa. So you rather make a decision and stand by it.
Yeah.
If you decide you want to play for England, stick to it. Sit and wait. If you don't get a call up, you don't get a call up. But don't wait until 29, 30, you've passed your best, whatever it is. Then Nigerian FA, I'm ready to play for you now. No, fuck off, mate.
Personally, I think he hits the nail right on the head. Yes, it's a very tough decision to, example, if you're a player playing on a high and you believe you have a chance of playing for any of the European teams like England, Germany, or France, Italy, and you have like route to Ghana or any of the African countries. It's a tough decision to decide to come and play for us. But for me, national team is national team. National team is more than football. It's more of pride. You get me? It's not like going to join a club like Real Madrid and going to win the Champions League. Representing your national team is more than just playing football. It's pride and the color of the shirt you are wearing. So I believe that if you're a player, you need to respect the African country and make the decision. It shouldn't be last minute. You shouldn't consider it as second option. And also, another thing that the federations needs to also do, and I think that Barton talked about it, we need to start going after these players at a very young age. You, the federation, you've done nothing wrong to get for a player who plays, for example, Kobe Menu. He's a very young Ghanaian. Once he started playing for Arsenal or Manchester United junior team at a very young age, you start scouting him, have a conversation with him. We want you to come here. So the player at age 10, 9, there's a structure to get them involved into the national team. You see, because the national team is open to everybody. At that age, you get him involved. You let him know that, we want you to come and play for Ghana. The child is like 8 years, 9 years old. You see him playing the academy football, playing any championship. Go and talk to their parents. When your boy gets to the senior team level. When your boy gets matured, you want him to play for us. So you monitor him. Under 17, then you call him. He will come. Because under 17, England will not call him at that age. Unless he's like superly talented. So under 17, you call him. Under 20, you call. Then you see that the players get used to their things. But last minute, when the player becomes an old man, then we go after him. When it happens like that, they will always also consider us as second option because we are also trying to take advantage of them. When it happens like that, they will also try to take advantage of you because you all want to play each other. But if you make an investment, you are available and ready when the child is young, they will always be interested in you. So in my opinion, I think that's what we have to do. So guys, that's all for today. If you like what we discussed today, let me hear from you in the comment section. As usual, my name is Delali Frank. Until we meet again, bye bye for now.